Welcome to Snyder's Inc., where the fun never ends. Reactions, gaming, and more with Josh as your friend. Tune in, buckle up, it's a ride you don't wanna miss. Snyder's Inc., let's dive in, feel the ultimate bliss.
Hello everybody, welcome to Inside the Impact Zone. I am your host, the resident smuck of podcasting, Josh Snyder, and I am here to take you on the journey. And we're going to be going by this week to week on the beautiful journey that is TNA Wrestling. From NWA TNA to TNA to Impact Wrestling to Global Force Wrestling, back to Impact Wrestling, back to TNA. This entire journey from the Asylum to the Impact Zone, all the way to where we are now. We are going to go on this journey week by week, pay-per-view by pay-per-view, time by time, to discuss the ridiculousness that is TNA Wrestling. And my God, do we have an interesting one for you here today. We have got the very first ever NWA TNA Weekly pay-per-view. June 19th, 2002, in Huntsville, Alabama. Of course, NWA TNA ran by Jeff Jarrett and his father. And we gonna take that road. We gonna see what the hell Jeff did with this damn company, because there are some booking choices that happen on this show that just make me question some things about this dang guy. We open the show. Jeremy Borash is your ring announcer. We have the introduction of Don West and goddamn Ed Ferrara. Ed Ferrara and Don West joining the man who does not even deserve an entrance according to TNA, the Professor Mike Tenay. Mike Tenay, obviously your lead commentator, Don West and Ed Ferrara, your colored guys for the evening and for the next few months, for August when we get rid of Mr. Ferrara, which is the greatest gift, probably the commentary. And Mike Tenay talks about the legacy and how much they respect the history of the NWA and how they're going to pay respects to the history of NWA. Also talking about how they're going to make history because Mr. Dan Severn was the NWA World Heavyweight Champion going into this show. He was the man holding the show. He was scheduled. He originally was supposed to defend the championship at this show, but he refused to do so. Judging by who they made the first champion, I have a wonder of why. Maybe they were supposed to face off, and Mr. Severn did not want to do that match. But Dan Severn refused to defend the title, so they stripped him of the championship. Then made the Gauntlet for the goal, which will be our main event of the evening to determine a brand new NWA World Heavyweight Champion. Gonna be a very interesting bout. They don't talk about Mr. Dan Severn, but I know that history. We then get an introduction to some legends from the NWA's history. We got Harley Race, Dory Funk Jr., Jackie Fargo, Bullet Bob Armstrong, Corsica Joe, and Sarah Lee. I have no clue who those two are. I have no idea who Sarah Lee and Joe are. I have no idea. They're the only two I don't know of this entire list. Bill Behrens, which is just an executive. I don't know if he has a history of wrestling in the NWA or he's just always been exec there. But he's there. And then Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. But all the wrestlers I know except for Joe and Sarah Lee. No idea who they are. No clue. They don't look like they belong here. Like there was a time when I was watching this, I said blink twice if you're here against your will. Because Sarah Lee and Corsica Joe do not seem like they have no clue what the hell's going on. They have no idea what the hell is going on here on this show. And then Ricky the Dragon Steamboat makes his way out, also holding the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. Ricky talks about the importance of the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, talking about how it's like the Stanley Cup to hockey players, the big thing for football players. It's like the world title to the tennis players. I forget what the hell the football players fight for. I'm having the World Series, the baseball players. It's the most important thing in the entire sport. And he talked about how he's He won the title in 1989 by Ric Flair. And now how it has been decided. And this is where the more I look back, the more I find this. Really talks about the Gauntlet for the Gold and says that these wrestlers, Race, Funk, Fargo, Bob Armstrong, Joe, Lee, Bill Behrens, and himself all have picked the 20 wrestlers. They've picked the 20 wrestlers that are going to be in this match. I want you to remember that. Keep that in your head. Because when I name off some of the people in this match, you are going to be confused on why these legends would pick these people to be in this match. That's all. I'm just putting that out there. You will be very confused why they are in here. But Ricky Steamboat also says that he will be the referee for them, because here's the way the Gauntlet for the Gold looks. That's as Mike TNA brutally breaks down. 2 people start every 90 seconds, except that isn't how it works at this point. 90 seconds, another person will enter. And then, at the end, when we get down to the final 2, it goes into a singles match to determine the world champ. Ricky Steamboat announces he will be the referee for the singles match to determine the brand new NWA World Heavyweight Champion. They then are interrupted. We want my world. It's Jeff Jarrett. Jeff-Jarre, double freaking T, baby. And Jeff Jarrett interrupts, and he complains about the Gauntlet full of Gold, saying none of them had to ever win a world title in a battle royal. He goes, Dory Funk, when you won your first title in 1902, did you have to do it in a battle royal? And then Mike TNA goes, it was 1969. His offensiveness. You are meant to hate Jeff. I'm going to be honest. I don't hate. I've watched about 6 weeks of this. And ready to go. We're going to do a week at a time. But I've watched about 6 weeks. I can't hate Jeff Jarrett in this time frame. He might start to grow. He might start to have the disdain, and I know the matches where I'll be very annoyed with them. I'm gonna be honest. He kind of pops me here, because he complains about the title, and Jackie Fargo causes a whole bunch of audio issues because he shows up and he starts talking as Jarrett's talking, as commentators are talking. So half of what he says you can't hear. So Fargo interrupts Jeff and tells him to kiss his ass, and then says, he just distraught and half-assedly speaks. You can't hear what he's saying. And then Fargo's, in his own way, lets Jeff know he's entering number 1 in the Gauntlet for the Gold. He's going to be the first one out for the Gauntlet of the Gold. So that's what happens there. Jeff says that's fine. He's going to eliminate all 19 men and become champion. Then Ken Shamrock interrupts. And he says that the Gauntlet for the Gold sucks and it's a shit idea. But he says he is not Jarrett might eliminate 18 other guys, but he's not eliminating 19, which is him. They are then interrupted by Scott Hall, who comes out in the crowd and also mentions that the Gauntlet for the Gold sucks and is a bad idea. Why are you having the 3 top guys of NWA TNA tell you that the concept of an idea you came up with for the world title is a shit idea? Why are you having them do that? That doesn't make... Jarrett's fine. Jarrett doing it, that makes sense. Why is Ken Shamrock and Scott Hall, your top baby faces, complaining about that? That's so weird. So weird to have them do. Why would you do that? But then, Jeff says, screw you, Shamrock, screw you, Scott Hall, and Jackie Fargo, this is going to be the worst day you will live to regret for the rest of your life. And that's how the first segment ends, which gets you interested and lets you know who are the actual 3 credible winners to win this matchup. And yet the final 2 does not involve 2 of these 3, which is insane. Backstage, you have Goldilocks, who will be the unfortunate interviewer for the NWA TNA, because the way this woman is treated in future episodes, god damn, she's how it, oh god, it's a sign of the time. So, she is with, though, the greatest midget I have ever come across. The greatest midget, little person, dwarf, whatever you call him. He calls himself the midget killer. He says midget, so when I'm talking about him in this case, I'm going to use midget. That's what they want me to use. The greatest midget in the history of life. I am talking about Puppet, the Psycho Dwarf. And Puppet says he wants to start the show of midgets, because midgets is the true stars of America. And he wants that these two clowns, like Theo and Hollywood, he wants to see some midget blood. And as they're done, suddenly Jeff Jarrett just starts kicking chairs backstage. Just Jackie Fargo just starts mumbling to himself as he's kicking chairs and having a temper tantrum down the hall. And that's just the end of the Puppet interviews, Jarrett. We didn't have match 1. The very first matchup of NWA TNA. It is a 6-man tag team matchup. It is a phenomenal AJ Styles, Low Key, and Jerry Lynn taking on the Flying Elvis Impersonators, which is Sonny Siaki, Jimmy Yang, and Jose Estrada. This match is awesome. This match is a perfect way to introduce them. The booking is a bizarre choice, which I'll get to in a second. Also, they have this hilarious shot where the legends who opened the show are supposed to be watching the show, in quotations. Picture me saying that. Watching the show, in quotations, on a screen. But these guys are not watching anything. You can tell they are not watching anything just by the looks on their faces. They have no idea what the fuck is going on in this show at this point. They have no single solitary clue. The only thing I can tell, if you're supposed to believe them, is they are morbidly offensive. They find the Flying Elvis Impersonators offensive because they just look deeply unimpressed and unhappy to see some Elvis impersonators insulting the great lineage of the NWA TNA, because definitely Puppet the Psycho Dwarf, that's fine. You want to get the dang Johnsons, which we see later on, that's fine. But you bring in some Elvis impersonators, and god damn it, Jackie Fargo and Joe and all, then that's too far. Harley Race would never insult himself with some god dang Elvis impersonators. That's what's insulting to NWA TNA. But we get back to the action. Elvis jumps the group to start the show, but the babyfaces fight back. Low Key and Jalen diving onto the Elvises on the outside. Jimmy Yang and AJ Styles are the main people in the ring to start, and Jimmy Yang, I was going Jimmy Wang Yang, that's WWE. Jimmy Yang hits a nasty shining wizard to AJ Styles, but Styles manages to kick out. Jerry Lynn gets in, hits a tilt-a-wall backbreaker to Yang. Sonny Siaki ends up getting in. Lynn hits a bulldog, but Sonny Siaki able to kick out of that. Sonny Siaki, though, does hit a brutal backbreaker to Low Key. It looked awesome. I'm telling you, these 6 guys are very impressive. They show you why you should care. It makes you invested in AJ Styles, Low Key, Jerry Lynn, Sonny Siaki. Like, all 6 of these guys, you would be impressed just watching this matchup. Jose Estrada gets in. Jose Estrada, to me, is the, at least in this battle, he's the most impressive out of everyone on the Flying Elvis Impersonators. I know the star is supposed to be, I think, Siaki, usually by later weeks, but Estrada stands out very heavily. The talent, the stuff he does, the way he does it, the effortlessness and how he does it, it's very impressive. I'm very impressed with Jose Estrada in this. but Estrada hits a awesome split-legged moonsault to Low-Ki. The neck breaker he hits off the top rope probably was not the greatest. It's very I think he could have done a better one, but that's, you know, it's one where you're trying to do a running neck breaker off the top rope. It's very weird. It doesn't work. Although Estrada does hit a nice running shooting star press to Low-Ki, but Low-Ki's able to kick out of that. Low-Ki hits some nasty kicks to the chest. He does like 3 kicks to the chest and 1 to the head. The part I have an issue with is once he kicks him in the head, he just like collapse. Like that's the last one. I'm like, just do the kick. Just don't do the 3 kicks to the chest. If that's where your spot is, there he collapses to do the hot tag. Just have him like he just has enough energy to kick him in the head. Then he collapses for the hot tag. I think that would have made more psychological sense. But you know, it is what it is in 2002. Low-Ki then gets the hot tag to Styles, and Jimmy Yang gets in. Also, Styles hits a reverse DDT to Yang. But Yang's able to get back into it. Hits a spinning heel kick to Styles. Low-Ki gets hit with a sit-out bind buster by Estrada. Beautifully done. Lynn hits the cradle pile driver to Estrada. We then get some miscommunication by Styles and Low-Ki. Low-Ki hits a kick in the corner to Styles by accident. Yang takes advantage of that, hits a twist and splash on the Styles to win. The Flying Elvis Impersonators get the win. Now, if any other situation was happening, I would say this makes perfect sense. You get over the characters of the Flying Elvis Impersonators, Styles, Low-Ki, and Jerry Lynn can bounce back, right? The issue I have is next week they confirm that Low-Ki, Jerry Lynn, and AJ Styles will be in a 6-man round-robin tournament, is how they describe it, for the X Division Championship, which includes none of the Elvis Impersonators. None of them are in that. So why would you have the 3 guys competing for your X Division title lose? Like, that's just dumb to me. That's bad thought process, because that would make them look not as credible going into the tournament, right? If you had it where there was tension between them in the match, and that's what it caused, that would make one thing, but that doesn't happen, so it's just that they lose. It's very weird of a choice to make. I find it very bizarre. I found it very weird to have these guys lose, knowing that next week they're in the X Division title round tournament. Again, it's just, I think the goal was to get the Elvis Impersonators over. They chose 3 towns to kick, 3 good towns to face them, and to kick off the show, get the crowd hyped, makes you engage, knowing the great talent you see in the ring. I think just a lack of thought was put into the people they were, when it comes to having it be those 3 of Lynn, Styles, and Low-Ki. I think they didn't need to be the 3 you chose. I have an issue with the transitions on this pay-per-view, because the way they transition is they just show women dancing in a cage thing. And, like, that's fine. The problem is how quickly a match ends and they cut to the women dancing. Feels like it never gives the people winning a chance to celebrate, never gives them a chance to do anything like that. I think if you let the celebrations breathe more before you cut to the women dance and then to the next thing, I think it would have been better, because like the Impersonators win and immediately it's like cut away from this, go to the next thing, cut away from this, go to the next thing. It's like to the women dancing. They don't have time to breathe. The ending of a match and the celebration don't have time to breathe, and I think that's my issue with it. Match 2, we have a midget match. This is how it's described. We got a midget match by Jerry Bosch. That's what I'm calling it. A midget match between Hollywood and Tio. Both men are built about how hardcore they are, and they have a normal wrestling match. There's no violence, no hardcoreness in anything here. This match is short and to the point. Tio hits some good chops. Hollywood hits the top both spots, but Tio was able to kick out. Tio hits a leg sweep and a swanton of sorts to win. I call it a swanton because that's what Mike Today called it. Don't know if that's what I call it. He did some twisted move where his leg Hollywood's layout. Tio's foot connects straight on his face. So yeah, not the most best swanton, but it connects and he gets the win. And then it's cut again. Another thing, cut right to the next thing. Cut to the dancing and all that. We then get a preview with Efron, Mike and Don West for the Lingerie Battle Royal. I'm gonna be honest. I think it's just time has passed me by on this. This did not interest me at all. I skipped it. I know Francine shows up and gets into a brawl. But I don't care for a Lingerie Battle Royal. I'll have to review it on the actual show because it's a match. I'm not just going to skip an entire match, but I had no interest in seeing the preview for a Lingerie Battle Royal. I didn't need this, so I skipped past it. We have Goldilocks with Morgan Plumtree. I think I said his name right. I might have signed that wrong. But Plumtree is fucking incredible. I don't think this character lasts long, but the way he presents himself is so ridiculous that I love it. He comes out, he's talking to Goldilocks, and he goes like, about how torture leads to perseverance, something like this. Perseverance leads to power, and power was what he has. He has power now over his former tormentors, the Johnsons, and they wear what he want to wear. They don't talk unless he wants to talk. They show up where he wants them to show up. He's in complete control. Then you have to thank him for their lives, their just entire life, not their livelihood, their lives in general. Like, did he save them? What happened? You never find out. But we then got to the tag team match of the Johnsons' debut against Psychosis and James Storm, because Johnson's brought down in the ring by Plumtree. This is the most ridiculous looking thing I've ever seen. I love it. They are dressed so stupidly. They are a joke so they can make dick jokes. That's all they're there for. Is so the commentator, Ed Ferrara, can make fucking dick jokes. But that's so dumb, and it's so dumb. But they're not bad in the ring. They're taking on Psychosis and Cowboy James Storm, who, by the way, is full-on cowboy. He's got a hat. He's got, like, a jacket thingy. He looks like he stole Undertaker's attire, and it was just too big for him. And then he has, like, these two little guns that shoot off, that he shoots at the... It's so dumb. Psychosis is cool, though. But this match is not long. But it also gets the point across, builds them up in that. They're in control right away. Psychosis attempts to make a comeback, gets tagged into Storm. Storm hits a missile drop kick to one of the Johnsons. And then we have, as she's in this woman comes along. Alicia is what they call her. Don't get used to this woman. She's around for about 4 weeks. Her storyline never progresses, and she's never seen again. So this woman, don't pay much attention to it. Storm hits a bulldog. Johnson get back in control here. Double flapjack to Psychosis. Psychosis sends one of the Johnson face first into the mat. We get the hot tag to James Storm. Storm is making a comeback, going full force, and then Plumtree pulls hooks the leg of Storm. Storm gets distracted. One of the Johnsons hits a TKO onto Storm to win. The Johnsons get the victory and move on in the tournament. There's no tournament. What the fuck am I talking about? Move on and in the victory. There's a tournament I think starts in a few weeks for the tag titles, but it's not next week, so I don't know why I said that. Or this week even. Goldilocks is backstage with some with a tag team that we will know as the Dopes, but they're the dipshits in this case, and I don't like them as a team. Moving on. We have Sterling Martin and Permy Sadler, two race car drivers, and they're talking about race cars, and then I thought, so this is on me. This is on me. I thought that R-Truth, I'm going to call him after this one, started in TNA as Ron Killings. I just assumed he immediately started as Ron Killings. But no, he's K-Crush at the start of his run. So K-Crush, Ron Killings, interrupts and has an issue with race car drivers. And so he starts talking about how Dale Khan, they're white by the way, Dale Khan drives a race car in a circle. Killings like, K-Crush is like, my grandma could do what y'all do. And Killing like, his time, throw touchdowns, run for touchdowns, shoot baskets. That's what we do. Sadler insults Truth, being like, you expect anyone to take you seriously looking how you do right now? You some sort of athlete? I don't know if I'm supposed to buy the way he dresses or the fact that he's... I don't know. But Crush goes to grab Sadler, and then Mr. Brian Christopher saves them, and a match is made next week between Brian Christopher and K-Crush. We then cut to the back, where Jeff Jarrett is just choking Jackie Fargo, and they get into a pull-apart brawl, and that makes me chuckle. We then have a tag team match as Christian York and Joey Matthews take on the Dubs. This is Bo Dub and Stan Dub. This is another one of those matches where it's just there to get one team over. York hits a springboard drop kick to the Dubs. We got a full Nelson slam by Stand Up to Joey Matthews. Bo hits a massive big boot. Bo can hit some big boots. He can hit some big boots. I can tell you that. Matthews hits a massive neck breaker. We hit the hot tag to Christian York. York runs wild. York's about to do a move on top of when Fluffed Up, who is their cousin and both their girlfriends, by the way. That's the gimmick. Yeah. Yanks York off the top terminal, and the ref is distracted. Bo pins him with some tights to get the win. Gets the Dubs over. That's literally all they're there for. It's fine. I'm not a fan of this act. It doesn't do nothing for me. I don't think it does. It hasn't won me over yet in the weeks watched. So, knowing that one of them is Trevor Murdoch, they probably doesn't help, because I'm like, you have actual good talent. You have a good talent. This is the gimmick you've given them. We then have a Toby Keith performance, who is very well done, until he is cut off by Jeff Jarrett. Woo, my world. Jeff Jarrett just shoves him down. And, like, no one wants to hear you sing, it's time for Gauntlet for the Gold in the main event. Time for main event for the NWA World Championship, the Gauntlet for the Gold. Jeff Jarrett starting off. Toby Keith had to be brought away from security. First entrant, Jeff Jarrett. Second entrant is Buff Bagwell. And they have a short little thing. Bagwell hits a blockbuster, but then Jarrett gets the rope. Buff runs on him, Jarrett ducks down, and Buff Bagwell is eliminated. I thought they'd do more with Buff Bagwell. I am shocked this is all he did. I don't know if it was an issue with him, that maybe they just couldn't do it. I don't know, but I thought Buff would last a bit longer than he did. Entrant 3 is Lash LaRue. Jarrett absolutely whoops this some bitch's ass. Throws him out, throws him into the middle, beats him up on the ringside, throws him back in, hits him with a stroke, and eliminates him. Lash LaRue didn't get a single move in and got an ass whooped. That's an FU to Lash LaRue. Entrant 4 is Screaming Norman Smiley, is what they label. Norman hits a massive body slam to Jarrett, but Jarrett ends up eliminating him in the end. And Norman is eliminated. Entrant 5 is Apollo. He is the Iron Man of this match. He lasts the longest in. He lasts pretty much till the final 4. He is very impressive in this matchup. He doesn't do, like, anything super, like, stand-outish, but I think he'll have his time, hopefully, to do that. But here he just, he looks very good. Very well done in the battle in here. Hits a massive sound spinebuster to Jarrett. Entrance 6 is K-Crush, who saved Jarrett from being eliminated, and then they gang up on Apollo. Entrance 7 is Slash, who is from James Mitchell's The New Church. Slash gets hit with a DDT by Apollo, though. Entrant 8 is named Del Rios. And Del Rios is just what happens when you can't hire Scott Steiner. That is what this was. Scott Steiner was under a contract, couldn't show up, so they had Del Rios dress up, look like Scott Steiner, wear trunks that has a big S on it, and wear his hair blonde. If this guy wasn't told to look like Scott Steiner, he just happened to look like Scott Steiner. It is insane. Oh, and he just also happens to be hitting belly-to-belly suplexes. Come on! Yeah, he hits a belly-to-belly suplexes. Entrant 9 is Justice. You will know him in later years as Abyss. He's just Justice here. Runs in, hits Reels with a black hole slam. Entrant 10 is Conan. Conan does something that I wish more people did. I've never seen someone else do this. Conan will do a thing where he'll sling you off the ropes, do a roll, and then hit you with a clothesline. And it actually looks kind of cool. I'm surprised no one else has done it. It's a genuine thing. I'm surprised he does it to a boatload of people. Runs roughshod, but it's very, very fun. Entrant 11 is Bruce from the Rainbow Express with Joel Gertner. And most of his time is just spent as Joel Gertner promo. Oh, I forgot to mention this. The 90-second thing, because I remember I said it doesn't really follow the rules. A multiple time, when Jarrett's running roughshod eliminates Lash LaRue or Norman Smiley, and like there's still time left, they just cut it. They just be like, nope, next entrant comes out. Like, they just don't even bother. I don't know what happens. I don't know why, but they don't even follow their own 90-second rule. Bruce does absolutely nothing in this. Entrant 12 is the dog-faced gremlin Rick Steiner. Rick Steiner eliminates Slash, and he eliminates Justice right as he comes in. Entrant 13 is Malice. Malice with James Mitchell and the New Church. He chokeslams many people and goes on a tear, eliminating, listen to these names, K-Crush, Conan, Del Rios, Rick Steiner, and Bruce. 5 eliminations Malice gets right off the top. You are made to think Malice is a dominant force, and they present him as such in this matchup. I was very impressed with the presentation of Malice, who you also might know in WCW as The Wall. Malice is the fucking Wall, and I love it. He's presented very well here. Entrant 14 is the bad guy Scott Hall. Scott Hall running in, starts punching Malice and someone else, and Apollo, I think it is. And no, Malice and Jarrett? Is it just them two? Yes. Malice and Jarrett. And because of that, Apollo can't do his top rope spot, so he has to fucking jump down, and Scott Hall fucked up Apollo's spot. Hall hits the razor's edge on Jarrett, leading to Toby Keith coming in. And the way they made this sound, I thought Toby Keith was an entrant for a while. I thought he was like in the match, but he's not. Keith comes in, suplexes Jarrett, and then him and Scott Hall eliminate Jeff Jarrett, which makes Ed Farrar very angry. I don't know if this was supposed to lead to a match between Toby Keith and Jeff Jarrett. I wish I would have seen it. I wish I would have. It would have been way fun. We never got around to it, though. So yeah, Jarrett's gone. Keith just leaves after that. Entrant number 15 is the Wildcat, Chris Harris. Entrant 16 is the Vampire Warrior, who just runs down to the ring. It's not his time. He just runs down for some reason and just starts attacking people. I don't know if someone told him to, like, hurry it up, but he's just told to rush that sumbitch. Entrant 17 is Dangerous Daniel Storm, also known as Crowbar. He makes his way down. He won't be that name for long. Storm drops Chris Harris. Entrant 18 is Steve Carino. Entrant 19, Ken Shamrock. Entrant 20 is Brian Christopher. And Christopher eliminates Chris Harris, Vampire Warrior, Daniel Storm or Crowbar, and Steve Carino, all in like the first few minutes of him entering. They have Brian Christopher run roughshod in this thing. What the hell were they thinking here? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Malice then chokeslams Brian Christopher, and Shamrock just gets pissed and just throws him out. I don't know what that was about. He just kicks him in the spine and then just tosses him out. I don't know why he did. So Brian Christopher is gone. Malice then eliminates Apollo and Scott Hall, leading to the final two. By the way, Malice has 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 eliminations. 7 eliminations in this matchup. So yeah, the final two is Ken Shamrock versus Malice for the NWA World Championship. Ricky Steamboat is the referee. It's NWA rules, which just means one fall to a finish. Malice at the start hits a big boot to Shamrock, and it's a massive side slam, but Shamrock's able to kick out. Malice goes for the choke slam, but Shamrock counters it into an arm bar. The crowd is very much behind Ken Shamrock here. Shamrock locks in an ankle lock, but Malice gets to the ropes. Shamrock pulls him back, but he's able to break the hold after Malice gets to the rope. Again, they make Malice look very strong in this matchup. Very strong in defeat going to Shamrock, as Shamrock does, because he has him up for the goozle. He's about to chokeslam him, but Shamrock gets out of it, hits a quick belly to belly out of nowhere to get the 3 count, and Ken Shamrock is the brand new NWA World Heavyweight Champion. Malice looks good in defeat, but Ken Shamrock is your first champion. A very good moment for Shamrock. He gets to win a World Championship. Looks very good. Malice is the standout to me in the battle thing. Apollo, I think, is the standout overall in the Gauntlet for the Gold. I think the way the long they give him works. I don't know if they saw something in him that he just didn't end up doing, like living up to or what, but he looks very good in here. Then afterwards, you get this backstage mode because you can't edit the world title. No. We need more wee woo, my world. So Jeff Jarrett shows up afterwards, is talking about Jackie Fargo. And then Scott Hall runs down, and they get into a brawl, and Jarrett vs. Scott Hall is happening next week. And that's how the show ends. I think this is a very fun opening. I think they introduced some characters that don't need it to be introduced, like Elvis Impersonators, the Johnsons, the Dubs. They have the Gauntlet for the Gold, where also, let me remind you, some legends also picked the Vampire Warrior, aka Gangrel, to be, and Crowbar to be in this match. Brian Christopher is put in an NWA World Championship match. But a fun night, a fun opening, a fun way to start NWA TNA. Let me know what your favorite part of this show is in the comments. If you're enjoying this journey and you want to enjoy the journey with me, hit the like button and the subscribe button to Beyond the Bell with Christian Payne's YouTube channel, so we can get in and we can continue this journey, because this will be going on every single Thursday, except for today. Every other Thursday, you will see an episode of Inside the Impact Zone go out. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for watching, enjoying this journey with me, and I will see you all next Thursday.